YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all on this nice, chilly Wednesday, and we're going to talk about the Anthony Davis trade on Analysis Playground, exclusively on YouTube forever. The Washington Wizards have agreed to trade for Anthony Davis from the Dallas Mavericks for a draft-heavy package. The Wizards will send Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley III, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks while taking on Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. That's a lot of role players getting moved for filler. And they got a lot of picks in return. And that's something that you have to do if you're getting rid of one of the best players in the league, which Anthony Davis is when healthy. The biggest problem with the trade is, will Anthony Davis be healthy? Because Trae Young, he hasn't really played because he banged up his knee. And on top of that, they're tanking to be able to get a nice pick in this year's draft, which they still have. And they still have some quality players like Alexandre Sarr that you can pair with Anthony Davis to give you some rim protection. And Alexandre Sarr can shoot a little bit too from 3 in mid-range. He's still developing. He's still learning. It'll be good to have him and Davis in that paint, obviously. And then, obviously, Trae Young can find them with layups, lobs, and dunks. He can find them in transition. Trae Young is a guy that's always probing. He's always looking for that floater, that layup, or that three. And he's a decent free throw shooter. So you're always going to be able to put pressure on the defense to make and commit to certain decisions, which make easy opportunities and easy reads. Luckily, Trae Young is a pass-first type of guy sometimes. And he's always looking to score when he can. And it's going to be tough to guard Anthony Davis and Alexandre Sarr at the same time. They still do have Bilal Coulibaly. He's a decent transition player. He's a decent athlete. You can say the same about Keyshawn George. You need those guys that can attack the paint. You need those guys that can finish and provide a little bit of shooting too for the bigs and for Trae Young to operate. They're getting some quality role players back. Jaden Hardy and D'Angelo Russell and Dante Exum. I don't think they're going to play a lot. I don't think they're going to be with the Wizards that long, but they are quality players. And like I said before, the Wizards aren't really trying to win because they do want a good pick in this year's draft, which makes sense for them. And then you look at Chris Middleton. He showed that he might be a buyout guy because he can still pass. He can still score a little bit. And teams going to be interested in him because he's still a good veteran that understands what he needs to do and what he can do out there. A.J. Johnson is younger. Malachi Branham is younger. Marvin Bagley is one of those guys where you know he's going to try to finish in that paint. He's going to try to hit a shot from the perimeter every once in a while. He's going to really do good on the boards. But you know what he is and you know what he's going to be for you, whether if he stays a Wizard or not. It doesn't matter too much at the end of the day. So, not if he's going to stay at Mavericks. Same with Chris Mills, A.J. Johnson, Brandon. If he's going to stay a Maverick for a long period of time, it doesn't really matter too much. But he is a quality big in this league, and he showed that in Washington his entire season. I think all of these guys have shown something. Obviously, the Mavericks wouldn't be interested in getting them if they didn't see something that they can possibly get from them or see what they can do for them because they did have decent seasons this year for the Wizards. Other than that, before moving with the Wizards, the Mavericks held Anthony Davis trade talks with the Raptors and the Hawks on Wednesday. Obviously, those teams was interested in a guy that can score 20 and get 20 and 10 each and every night when healthy, and a couple blocks. And Anthony Davis is a team player. That's something that you have to like. That's something that you have to love him for. The problem with Anthony Davis getting traded is he was a part of that Luka Doncic trade. And a lot of people thought since the Mavericks got AD, Cooper Flag, and Kyrie, who hasn't played yet this season, they would be a championship caliber contender this season or in the future. Now you see them punting on that idea because they traded Anthony Davis. I don't think they can trade Kyrie right now because of the injury and the fact that you don't know what he can really do on a basketball court after the ACL injury because he hasn't played yet. So they're going to have to ride that one out a little longer before they can move off him. I am a person that believes that they should get rid of Kyrie when they can and the best offer is available to them. I said that a long time ago and I still feel the same way. You just got to get as many assets as you can. You got to get as many opportunities as you can to build around Cooper. Cooper is really, really good for his age. He's only 19. Obviously, you feel like you have time because of that. You have opportunities because of that. And you just have to play your cards as good as you can with what you have. And this, to me, the haul that you got for Anthony Davis is incredible. Um, this is a really, really, really good amount of things to get for a player of his caliber. The Mavericks will receive the 2026 first round pick originating with the Oklahoma City Thunder, along with the top 20 protected 2030 first round pick from the Golden State Warriors. Dallas will also receive a second rounder in 2026, the Phoenix Suns, in 2027, Chicago Bulls, and 2029, Houston Rockets. That's a good amount of picks. Anything can happen. You can trade it to move up. You can stay with it. You never know what the scouts is going to see, or you already scouting now. You probably got some guys you want, and you already know that, and that can be your advantage with some of these picks is being prepared early, especially because the Mavericks are going through a rebuild mode. And we just don't know how the Wizards are going to look right away because guys are going to be out for a significant amount of time. And Anthony Davis is going to be one of them, and so will Trae Young. It is going to be interesting to see how much they're going to pay Anthony Davis and Trae Young because both of them are guys that want to get paid and they want to be paid long term. That's going to be the biggest thing about these trades is how much money is they going to give these guys. And also not knowing how well they're going to play together because you can't really see it until it actually happens on the basketball court against some real NBA and basketball competition. So there's a lot of questions. Obviously, if you a Wizards fan, you look at it like, how did we get two All-Star caliber players within 2 months? And it's like that don't usually happen ever, even at the trade deadline. Usually you get the best player at the trade deadline. You don't get two All-Stars from two different teams. But the Wizards pulled it off. They had the cap space. They had the picks. They had the youth. Obviously, Trae Young is still in his 20s. They still do have good young players around him and Anthony Davis that still have upside and potential. You have a chance to add more. And on top of that, you really have a quality group of guys that's going to go out there and compete because they want to show what they can do either for you or for another team. So this is a strong trade for the Wizards because it just changes what they're about and it's changing what they're going to be. And like I said, you're not going to really find nobody in the draft that can be as good as two All-Stars. Usually it takes some years for even the better players to become All-Star caliber players. You got two guys that understand how to dominate games, and you have more role players that fit that what they're going to need to be successful with and without them around the talent that the coach and that's going to be out there and the fit. So I'm liking what the Wizards are doing right now. I just want to see the price they have to pay. Other than that, they got a lot of talent now, and they didn't really have to get rid of none of their core pieces to get it, or the players that they like right now that's young. Bub Carrington, I got to mention him. He's a guy that they like. Trey Johnson, he's a shooter. He's a scorer. They like him, and they didn't have to get rid of him either. So they're doing a lot of things right when it comes to trying to be competitive. They're doing a lot of things right when it comes to trying to build a roster that actually is going to be something to watch and want to see. And Washington hasn't had that in a long period of time. And now they're going to have that next year for sure. And we just have to see the decisions that they make with the roster and what they do with the draft. And then you look at the Mavericks. They got rid of one of the best players in the league. Now they have a lot of opportunities to smooth out what they can do and how they're going to build around Cooper Flag. It's going to be fun to see the next generation of the Mavericks built around him. Obviously, they didn't really know they was going to get the number one pick until they did. And that changed a lot of things because now you know who's going to be the guy for your franchise. Now it's just about finding the pieces and the players that fit with him, that's around his age, that can grow with him, learn with him, and play with him to become better each and every year to possibly become a serious threat in the Western Conference. Now they just got to find what they're going to be and what they're going to do with Kyrie. And once they figure that out, they're going to be going in a different direction, obviously. But that's going to give them some more pieces and some more things that they can use to build around Cooper and the franchise. So wait and see approach for both teams. We don't know how the Wizards are going to look. We don't know how they're going to play, but it looks like they have the right group of guys. And then obviously the Mavericks still figuring things out. It's going to be hard to build a team from scratch, but they got a good start. And we're going to see if they can put it together. And if everything goes well for them, it looks like they're geniuses. If things go wrong, it's because of injuries. Other than that, be on wait and see mode for the Mavericks too. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell to get the analysis when it first come out. Y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good. Peace. And I'll see y'all later today, hopefully with more analysis.